Valley Club, it took the devs a little while to figure it out, but they made some much needed changes to the Annihilation raids. Also, the votes for your next member of the Phoenix Force is live. I want to talk about who I voted for, and it is Mailbag Mondays. We're going to answer the rest of your mailbag questions, and if you're ready for it all, you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having an excellent day, and I hope you're ready for a new member of the Phoenix Force. The vote is live right now. We're going to talk about who I voted for. There are a bunch of mailbag questions, and we have some much needed updates for the Annihilations raids. We're going to talk about all in this video. And if you get some value from the video today, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new Marvel Strike Force video goes up. At least 5 of them every single week on this channel. But let's get into the game news section to get the latest about the Annihilation raid energy update. This is from Pathfinder. Just a little while ago, we're updating the raid energy per day received to 80 to go along with the new Annihilation raid. We're sending out raid energy refills to all players. Thanks for your patient and continued dedication to Marvel Strike Force. So what was happening, if we go and check out what the energy was previous to this, and I think it still hasn't been updated, so it may be like this as this video comes out, but it should be some changes coming to this. It was 1 raid energy every 24 minutes, which would be 60 raid energy per day, which is not enough for these Annihilation raids. 8 nodes, which means that we need 80 every day, which means there was gonna be a drop off. So it is now gonna be moved up to 80 energy per day per this note from Pathfinder. And I was wondering exactly how many minutes will it take to get 1 raid energy? And even though it's a very simple equation, it's been a while since I was in college doing all these equations and statistics and everything like that. So just put it in the chat GPT. I thought it'd be way simpler just to get the answer from ChatGPT to try to figure out these equations. So it is exactly what we said, 60 energy per day with the old thing. We're getting 80 now, so there's still the same amount of minutes per day, 1,440. So the time to get 1 energy is if we're getting 80 energy in a day, is going to be every 18 minutes, 1 raid energy for that Annihilation raids, which does not leave a lot of wiggle room. So if you're starting a raid the next day, you're gonna have to push a little bit back every single day. And if you miss a day, then it's gonna be bad. If your game crashes, that's gonna be bad. If you're on vacation with a family, that's gonna be bad. But I think the reason that they did it like this with such little wiggle room is because of what they said in this blog from a couple weeks ago. They did say that completion rewards unlocking at 90%. However, you still need 100 if you want to get that full completion, or if you want to end the raid automatically, or if you want to get some extra bonuses from whatever node bonuses you would from clearing that boss. But it does look that they made that decision because they're figuring, oh, you're still going to get all the rewards even if you don't fully complete it as an alliance. So I think that's why they did that. I would have liked to see a little more wiggle room. So maybe instead of the 18 energy or 8 every 18 minutes, maybe every 15 minutes, maybe every 14 minutes or so. You know, we still have to log in every single day, but at least it's not going backwards if we happen to miss something. So that's what I would have liked, but this is exactly what they did. And I do want to know what you ended up doing in the player poll. With the player poll live right now, and even if you're not caring which next character comes to the game, make sure you vote every day, because if you vote every day, 50 power chords every day and 50 campaign energy every day. Now, the choices for the next member of the Phoenix Force, Gwenpool, Magneto, Spider-Weaver, and Venom. I think the top 2 choices, at least for me, are Magneto. 1, because he does have a cool kit, and thematically he does kind of match up with the Phoenix Force, right? He's a mutant, so it kind of has that synergy with Jean Grey. Also is a mutant, a villain mutant, so it has that synergy with Omega Red. So already has some synergy with that. I think that would be cool. But as everyone else said, yeah, Venom, the symbiote, and Phoenix Force, having both of those. And I did not think of this, but if he gets the Phoenix Force tag, you probably should have that original symbiote tag, which means Null is going to be a little better. That means Gore is going to be a little better. So I think the top 2 choices, at least for me in my mind, are Magneto and Venom. Now, you can make great arguments for Spider-Weaver. I think that removing that accuracy from the opponents is a very strong kit. Another original character getting to one of these original teams would be cool. However, This is a new version of Spider-Weaver. I do want to see the current version of Spider-Weaver get reworked. That's why I'm not picking Spider-Weaver. And Gwenpool, I think is a cool character. She does have an AoE on the special in Crucible, AoE and the ultimate. I'm hoping, now they may not do this, but what I'm hoping if Gwenpool gets picked, it's gonna be an AoE on the basic, special, and ultimate. So kind of what I'm saying is I think there's justification for all of these characters. What I picked was Magneto. Let me know who you picked, and let me know if that's going to be your pick for every single one of these votes. I may go back and forth between Magneto. Let me know what you're going to do in the comments. And now it's time to move on to your mailbag questions of the week. Big shout out to each and every one of you that left the mailbag questions for this video. We do this video every single week, answering questions about Marvel Strike Force or about the channel or whatever. But if you want to leave a question for one of these mailbag videos that we do on a weekly basis, join the Discord. The link to that is in the description of the video. Go to the mailbag question channel and ask your questions over there. First question of the week is about Phantom Rider. I have a question about Phantom Rider. Are you going to be skipping him? I'm not, or not. I'm skipping him, but for a weird reason. I'm not a big fan of anything Western related. That's my main reason for skipping him, even if it was required for anything. So for myself, it's mainly about their kits. I am a big Hulk fan. I enjoy Old Man Logan. But it's for me about building them. It's more about how valuable they are in Marvel Strike Force. My attempt to be very good in the game overweighs my enjoyment of these characters. So for me, it's always been about where they're used. And for Phantom Rider, he's going to be used on War. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know I'm not a huge fan of War. So I'm not going to be purchasing this character, obviously. And unless there's a lot of value for me to build up this character, maybe they increase the rewards from War. Maybe with these changes that have been talking about War becomes more fun, and for me it gets a little more value. There's not a lot of reason for me to build this character. Now, there may be some events going on. Let's look back to the very similar teams that we've had. The Infestation, it was Big Time Spider-Man and 4 reworks instead of Secret Phantom Rider and 4 reworks. We've also had the Underworld, which is Mr. Negative, 4 reworks as well. So if we look at what was required for them, the Infestation, they were a war defense team. And the only thing that was really they were required for is the Famine Scourge node. Node 5 and 10 allowed you to use Infestation characters. You could have used other teams like Secret Defenders, but that was one thing that you could use the Infestation for. No other requirements for Infestation. And for Underworld, they were also an Alliance War defense team, actually an offense team, but you could use them in nodes 5 and 10 of Pestilence, along with Dark Hunters, Web Warriors, and Hive Mind teams. So you have a bunch of options there. Also, they have some synergy with the Sinister 6 in War, so that kind of was a reason to build them if you were into War. And then Big Time Spider-Man did have some value later on. So I guess my point of it, unless we have Phantom Rider with a lot of extra value outside of just War, probably not going to really highly invest in this team. I know I didn't build the reworks for the Underworld. I didn't really build the reworks for the Infestation team. So probably not going to really invest too much in this team, but let me know what you're going to do. Hopefully what I said gives you considerations for what it will do in the game. But yeah, unless you're highly into War, I don't think this team will be needed for anything. So I think you're safe skipping it. There may be a few events that may require this team, but hopefully if they do require this team in events, they'll give some other backups like they did where that Pestilence saga is there. ValleyFlyin, with the upcoming global hero reworks, do you feel like any of them would be worth bringing the Professor X saga over like 3 or 4 Liberty and Emma Frost and or Jean Grey? I help teach players a lot, and I know I've had success with Blackwood on a couple Dark Dimensions previously. I hate telling new players to build non-raid tunes since they have very limited resources. That's actually a very good question. There are some differences with the Professor X sagas than some of the previous Dark Dimensions, because with the previous Dark Dimensions, really all you had to consider was a couple things. The cost of the character, so all their characters cheap, are they going to take a lot of resources to get into Dark Dimension? Their value in Dark Dimension, so would they help you get through Dark Dimension quicker, or would they kind of slow you down? And then their value after Dark Dimension. Now with the Professor X saga, you can't really chip away at it. You do need to 3-star a lot of these nodes, but as some other content creators like Vinora, Duelim has shown, if you're willing to go through some bad RNG and sit through a lot of attempts, you can bring in some trash characters like Shield Medic or Hydra Sniper to bring in there, and it may work. So the short answer is I think you could bring in whatever character you're going to feel value would give your roster value. you may struggle a lot with the Professor X saga, but if you are bringing in a lot of other meta characters and are willing to go through some bad attempts, I think you can bring in some other characters, but some considerations for some other teams. Let's go down to Hero Global and talk about some other characters that you can bring in. So for the Hero Global, we do have a lot of other options. So first I want to talk about is our 2 Thunderbolt characters, Victoria Han and Songbird. Good characters. And actually, let's talk about Hercules and Ancient One as well. Let's move this, make this a little smaller because there's some characters that are missing here. All right, so good characters, and if you have a role for them afterwards, which I don't think you would for Hercules, seeing as like the Uncanny Avengers kind of fading out of the spotlight raids. Ancient One, member of the Astral team, and we know that they're going to be replaced by a new Battle World team whenever we get a new Null/Void boss, or Void Sentry. No, but yeah, Void and Sentry boss. So not as much value for these 2 characters. The Thunderbolts, Victoria Han and Songbird, they're a good raid team. For myself, I don't see them having a lot of use outside the raids, so these would not be characters that I would build. The next character after that, Rachel Summers down here, part of the Hellfire Club, gonna give you value in the raids as a member of the Hellfire Club, also a member of the Immortal X-Men when using her in Cosmic Crucible. So this would be a good character to bring in, at least for my roster. If you value Crucible over War, then this would be a good character to potentially bring in. The 2 new Infestation characters, Black Widow, as you mentioned, and Ant-Man, the characters that are originally part of the Infestation team, getting a little bit of rework to go along with the Insidious 6 in War. These would be good options. They are pretty cheap. If you look at their costs, pretty cheap. Black Widow, still a cheaper character. Ant-Man, still a cheaper character. So from that standpoint, it would be good. I assume Black Widow would be good in the Professor X saga, probably not as much for Ant-Man. So it's going to give you value there. But I guess the last question is the value that you're going to get from Black Widow outside of the Professor X saga once you're done with that. So I think it's just going to come from War. So if you're a War player, yeah, you could build up Black Widow. But if you're not into War, she will help you get through Professor X. And unless you are missing some resources to build up some other characters, don't think we go back and build up Black Widow for that. I think if you're building her up anyway, yeah, it's going to be a great cheap option, but I don't think you build her up unless you have a lot of skill gear and want to save your resources for other characters in other sections. So that would be the only reason I would build up Black Widow, maybe building up Ant-Man for that. And then the new characters, the new Secret Warriors that are in this Global Heroes section. We have a few of them. We have Domino, we have Nerd Sonic as well. We also have Quake here, getting rework, and we also have Yo-Yo. So Yo-Yo and Quake are pretty expensive. They do take more pieces of gear. So from that cheap standpoint, they would not fit for that standpoint. So unless you really like that team, really like the Secret Wars, what they're gonna do in War, probably wouldn't go with that option as well. Now, as far as Domino and Nerd, they are a little bit more expensive. Same cost as Quake, actually. But looking at that and considering that they're going to be for War after, this is not something that I would build up. Now, if looking at all those considerations, the answer for you is yes, then definitely build up this team. They're going to give you some value on War offense, especially with the Insidious coming to the game. But that's what I would consider with all the stuff there. So if I was you, I would go through these same considerations, ask yourself these same questions, because the answers to these questions may be a little different for you than it is for me. And based on what those answers are, that is who I would build up for the Hero Global section. You may still want to go with Liberty, but those are some options if you don't want to build up the Liberty team. Hey, Valley, do you think they will make Red Star/Diamonds available for Odin soon? Unfortunately, I missed the event, so I never got my 7 red for him. Now he's trouble in Arena. I feel your pain. I missed that 7 red for Professor X in Arena and for Professor X as well, and I'm getting my butt kicked in Arena. I think I have 4 reds on my Professor X now, so yeah, definitely a problem. As far as the Red Star event, we did have that one and about almost a year ago, and we did have that Diamond event in just a few months ago. So I think Diamond's a little further away. Let's go and check out the 2 Valhalla event. Now this one, we got notice that it's ending soon, and this was a post from October 11, 2024. Now what this Valhalla event was, where you could earn that 6th and 7th Red Star for Odin. So I'm thinking we should be getting Red Stars soon, probably September, October, available in the store. if Scopely remembers this. I think sometimes they forget, and then sometimes we remind them, and then it's in the store very soon. So I think sometimes they forget, but if they remember, I think we should be getting the red stars soon, because this event ended about a year ago. And as far as the diamonds though, we just had an event for the diamonds. That was the one that you did the grind, the negative zone, every single day for 2 weeks. It was not a fun event, and even if you did that, you still need to spend to get some diamonds for that. So I think they do want to make that a little more exclusive. This Ride of the All Father milestones, this is a post about reaching that top 5,000, but the point I wanted this to go around here is this was for Monday, June 2nd. So it was around June 2nd, less than a month ago. I think it's gonna be a while before we get some diamonds for Odin, but I think the red stars for him should be coming very, very soon. But of course, that's just my prediction based on some dates that I saw. So let me know if you have some different opinions based on those dates. But hopefully you got some value from this video, and it allows you to strategize as well as possible in Marvel Strike Force. If you did get some value from the video today, leave the video a like. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. If you want to leave a question for one of these future mailbag videos, make sure you join the Discord. The link is down below, and I'll see you guys next time. If you want to see what to do to win in Arena right now, check out the video up there. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. Take care, guys.